To really succeed, we need to cut through the noise and make confident choices that your team can own.
All right, let's talk about something that every single leader runs into: trying to make faster, better decisions when you're just surrounded by noise. You know that feeling of being stuck? Well, if you've ever felt that, this is for you.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. When leaders feel stuck, it's almost never because they're out of ideas. It's actually the complete opposite. They are drowning in ideas, in options, in data. And that right there is the huge paradox of being a leader today.
The real enemy here isn't a lack of creativity. It's just noise. Think about it. It's the back-to-back meetings, the dashboards with a million metrics, all the different voices pulling you in different directions. And all that noise just eats away at the one thing you absolutely need to move forward: clarity. And this quote from Donald Fleming at M360 Leader just hits the nail on the head. Clarity is step one. It's what gets rid of all that friction holding your team back. But then, once you have that clarity, you need the courage to act on it. And that's how you create real momentum.
You know, this noise we're talking about, it isn't just an annoying feeling. It has a real, measurable cost. It's draining your business, your people, and your bottom line. Let's actually look at the numbers here.
So, McKinsey found that executives spend a whopping 40% of their time just making decisions. But here's the crazy part. A huge chunk of that time is seen as being wasted. I mean, just stop and think about that. What could you and your team do if you got even a little bit of that time back just by making your decision-making better?
And look what happens downstream. This indecision, it has this massive ripple effect. According to Gallup, almost 80% of the global workforce is disengaged. That is not a coincidence. When leadership is unclear, it creates confusion that just trickles all the way down, and it completely saps the energy from your team.
So, the business case for clarity? It's undeniable. The numbers don't lie. Bain sees a direct line between making good decisions and getting better financial results. Other studies show that bad meetings are the #1 productivity killer. It is all connected. Fixing your clarity isn't some soft, fuzzy skill. It is one of the most powerful levers for performance you can pull. So the big question is, how do we actually do this? How do we cut through all that noise? Well, it's not about some magic formula. It really comes down to combining two incredibly powerful forces.
And here they are, the two sides of the coin. On one hand, you've got evidence. This is the data, the facts, the signals that sharpen your aim and make sure you're not just guessing. But, and this is so important, evidence alone is never enough. You also need empathy. Empathy is how you get people on board, because at the end of the day, people commit to decisions they understand and feel like they had a voice in.
Okay, so let's get practical. How do we turn this idea into something you can actually use? This isn't just theory. This is a straightforward playbook you can literally start using with your team this week to make a real difference.
And here it is, 5 simple steps. Number 1, name the decision. Seriously, if you can't write it in one clear sentence, you're not ready to make it. 2, bound your options. No endless possibilities. Limited to 3 real choices. 3, assign a DRI, a directly responsible individual. One person owns the decision, no committees. 4, time box it. Give it a deadline to kill analysis paralysis. And finally, number 5, log and learn. Write down why you made the choice so you can learn from it no matter what happens.
Okay, but does this kind of thing actually work in the real world? Let me tell you a story about a COO. We'll call her Isabel, who is dealing with total decision gridlock in her company.
The before picture probably sounds a little familiar, right? 2-hour meetings that went nowhere, 0 follow-through, and every single tough decision ending up on her desk. The after? A total game changer. Meetings got cut down to a super focused 45 minutes, and because people were actually owning their decisions, the number of escalations to her dropped by almost half.
And this didn't just happen by magic. It was a structured, intentional 8-week sprint. They brought in a simple 1-page decision brief to frame every problem. They built new habits, like making sure everyone did their reading beforehand. They even used a live calculator to show the cost of every minute wasted in a meeting. Powerful stuff.
And the numbers here are just incredible. They cut their decision cycle time from 12 days down to 5, more than cut it in half. The team's clarity score shot up from 63% to 92%. They got 28% of their meeting time back. And maybe the best part, the relitigation rate, that's just a fancy way of saying arguing about the same thing over and over, that plummeted. They got it right the first time and moved on.
So let's bring all this home. We've talked about the problem, we've gone through the playbook, and we've seen the proof that it works. So what does this actually mean for you?
How do you make this your reality?
I absolutely love this quote from Pascal Dubois because it captures the whole spirit of this idea. Making a clear decision, it's not an act of control. It is an act of care. It's how you unblock your team. It's what gives them the psychological safety and the confidence to stop second-guessing and start actually building something.
And that's really what it all comes down to, isn't it? The goal isn't just to have fewer meetings for the sake of it. It's to completely transform them. It's about making a deliberate shift from a culture of endless, tangled discussion to a culture of crisp, clear, decisive action.
So I'll leave you with this one last thought. Clarity isn't some destination you just arrive at one day. It's a choice. It's a choice you have to make again and again. You see, we're not here just to educate you, we're here to activate you. So my question is this: what's the one decision, big or small, that you will choose to clarify for your team starting today?